All right, let's go ahead and get things started here. Let's screen share so this knows what we're doing. In free conference call for Telegram. We got free conference call, we got Telegram, we got YouTube. YouTube hopefully is going to Rumble and Odyssey. I've discovered it is going to Odyssey, but I have to then it has to follow up manually of going in and posting those to the stream on Odyssey. So that's something I've got to work with. Other than we're looking for state nationals that have tech support that would be able to help support with things like that. If you are on the LRO member record participation tab, there's a for abilities, select IT for help, but connect with definitely. All right, we'll go ahead and get things going. You want to start with putting your name in the chat, at least your first name and what county you are on. And again, I am Christine Van Pelt, State Coordinator and Lead Recording Secretary for the Indiana Assembly. This is the General and Militia Assemblies. The Indiana Assembly is in session today, March the 4th of 2024. And I am the moderator as well, serving this role at this point until someone is willing to step up to serve in this capacity to support in this way. And our guest speaker is Joe. He is our PKTF Executive Director, as well as he's our Area 4 Postal Chief. Area 4 is Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, and Kentucky. And he's the Postal Chief for our area because the IRS zip codes all start with 4 for the area. So, and we've allotted time later on in the call for him to be able to join us. I see we have someone on Telegram with us. Just pop in the chat what county you're on so we know, and we can all, and I can make sure you're included on the minutes for the agenda as well. So that make sure you get your first name and what county you're on. I think it's James here in free conference call. Make sure you get your county in so we can include you in the minutes. And thank you for joining us on free conference call. If you have a moment, you'll want to turn your camera on so we can all so people can start getting to know you as well. All right, because that's what we're here for, is to be able to get to know each other, right? And get to be able to see each other and talk with each other. All right, so we'll start with taking a moment of silence to honor our Creator. Okay, we'll proceed with the Bivens decision. This meeting is private. Bearing false witness, misrepresentation, and posting inflammatory rhetoric in public forums is forbidden and shall be addressed in an appropriate manner. To eliminate all conflict and false allegations, is there anyone in attendance at today's meeting who is a member or agent of any law enforcement agency or public agency of the federal, state, county, city, or township agencies present? Is there any response to the Bivens decision for the first time? It's not that you cannot be here, but you must present yourself and declare yourself at the beginning so that we know that you're here. But we're glad to be able to hopefully share in your knowledge, but present yourself up front and accordingly. And if you are, you can post it in the chat. Again, like I said, it's not that you can't be here, just that we want to make sure that we welcome you. Oh, you're in Telegram. Pardon, James. You're in Telegram. So in the chat for Telegram. All right. All right. And again, thank you for joining us on Telegram. All right. Hearing and seeing none, is there any response to the Bivens decision for the second time? Hearing and seeing none, is there any response to the Bivens decision for the third and final time? Hearing and seeing none. Anyone who is here under false pretenses, anyone who is working for any foreign government, including the territorial United States or municipal United States, anyone who is being paid or coerced to be here, must fully disclose their presence and purpose now or leave the premises. And bear note, we are Americans. We are not in hiding because we are acting peacefully and lawfully. We have the right to peacefully assemble. We're not here to cause any kind of problems. We're here for restoration. We are not here for reformation. And we present ourselves, we show ourselves on camera, we give our name, we let everybody know what county we're on so we can be able to share and connect with each other. We're not in hiding. And that's U.S. citizens like to hide. Alright, in the presentation, which after the call, the presentation link will be in the YouTube description right after the call, but then eventually, as time, I will be able to get it uploaded to the Assembly website with all the links through there as well. Again, we're looking for state nationals that have presented their status correction, that have tech support, that would be willing to support with that. Please email me. And we can get you going, as well as checking your participate tab in your LRO member record. It's IT, lumps a lot under there, but that will at least get you started, and we can get you because again, this is by, for, and of, for, and by the people. We all remember that it's of, and we all remember that it's for, but we forget the by part. The by part means it's us actually being the ones doing the actual movement, making things work. So here's the table of contents, and it has the links so that you'll be able to go straight to get to each pieces. So here is the Assembly agenda. Again, this is March 4th, 2024. The Indiana General Assembly and Militia Assembly are in session. And I am on Gibson County. I'm on free conference call. Hopefully Joe will be able to join us. He may be later, but he's pretty much been going through Telegram. That helps him to be able to share things too if he's remote right now. Agenda items will be discussing communication tools updates, connection tool updates, present for review Florida election process, Anna's current articles, and then we'll get into with Joe with any questions, as well as some more info on county sheriffs needed from most of the northern half of Indiana are within the U.S.'s Border Patrol space. And I have the link here so you can get more information on that. And then here's also for an Assembly liaison. To be able to support the Assembly. I'm under the understanding that we have one man that has stepped up that's at least interested on Marion County to support that role. So hopefully, if he is committed to that, he'll be able to present to the Assembly, and we can all agree to support him serving the Assembly in that way. And so we so in case we don't forget, March 18th, we re-adjourn for the General Assembly at 6 p.m. and March 11th, which is next week, for the General Assembly, and 6 p.m. Central. So here's something from Anna's Article 3014, Orientation for Newbies, Logic and Laws of Freedom. Every man and woman is born free and deserves to live and die free. Everyone is responsible for him or herself for what we think and what we do. With every right comes a responsibility. Our individual rights end where another's rights begin. Rights and freedoms that are not exercised are moot. When we enslave another, we enslave ourselves. We are responsible for directing those we employ. If we don't like something, it's up to us to change it. If we see an injustice, it's up to us to correct it. If we want peace, it's our duty to keep it. If we are bogged down, it's our job to climb over or dig under. If we cherish our own rights, we must cherish the rights of others. If we cherish our own freedom, we must cherish the freedom of others. And what does that all remind you of? But the golden rule, right? Love others as we love ourselves. Let's see, make sure everything is getting signal. Okay. All right. A reminder that this is not a get out of trouble with a de facto ticket. There's no fairy dust involved here. You'll have work to do, notices to send, lots to do. Okay, don't fall into the role of life coach, counselor, spiritual advisor. Let people know that simply becoming an American State National will not instantly solve their problems, and lots of research to do. Some people will ask how their life will be different after correcting their status. There's no way you can know how someone else's life will be different. Invite them to a meeting or gathering where they can meet others who can share their own experiences. We were also told to share the good news, right? Assembly participation and behavior guidelines. A reminder that nationality is a birthright. Assembly membership is a choice. If you want to join, fine, but you're going to be put to work and you're going to have boundaries. Participation in assembly is predicated on being polite and productive members of the community. Troublemakers and anarchists of the me people need to be disciplined, educated, and if need be, shown the door. The assemblies are business organizations engaged in very serious and important business. We have to set the tone for new members and establish the group values so that the group as a whole disciplines people to be polite, logical, businesslike, and mature. The moment anyone starts acting like a 7th grader and gossiping and being paranoid, it's up to the whole group, not just looking for that one to be that enforcer. It's the whole group. We're all the enforcer, to let that person know that the behavior pattern is not appropriate, not productive, not appreciated, and won't be tolerated. Shun gossip and fear-mongering, and it will all disappear. The coordinator's mission to be able to support everyone. We cannot fail. We're willing and able to do this work physically and mentally, emotionally and spiritually. We have resolve and determination. We walk the talk, and we work every day to bring the de jure into reality. We have excellent tools to complete our work. We set realistic and achievable goals. We learn and research constantly. We have a timeline of this year. We track our progress, we measure our strengths and weaknesses, and we continually improve and revise accordingly. That's the course correction, right? We conduct ourselves with peace and love. And many might think it's being unpeaceful, but they're only seeing that, okay, so it's incorrect. But many get their feelings hurt because it's incorrect, it's wrong. Well, no, I worked hard on that, but that doesn't make it correct. And many will get their feelings hurt thinking that, they're being beat up. It's not fair. It's too hard. It's the same process for everyone. It's not complicated. It really isn't. We need to remember that there could be infiltrators. What we're doing is so big and important that there are those that want to see us fail. Whether it's those that are within organizations or they're just so indoctrinated and so upset about everything and don't want to do the work, so they'd rather see us fail. So there's some more information here about red flags, as well as here is a list between here and here of actual modus operandi of actual infiltrators and the indoctrinated, and the tactics that they pull. And very first is always attacking the coordinator, because they think they just are sure that something's wrong with the coordinator. The coordinator can't be doing their job, and then of course they want to attack the paperwork as well, because they think their paperwork should be different and they shouldn't have to do as much paperwork as everybody else has to do. Everybody has the same core paperwork. The only thing that's going to be different is going to be if they've had multiple names, so there'll be added pages for that. If they were in the military, so those, cancellations will be different, but the core foundational documents are the same for everyone. But that's because the correct process has been developed to get on the land correctly. And you can read more about that in this link here for Anna's Article 3374, the warning signs that you have district infiltrators. All right, the Indiana mission statement. Our Indiana Assembly is dedicated to the restoration of a complete and fully operational land and soil jurisdiction. That's number 1. State and county court system serving the people of Indiana. Number 1 is the very first part of the mission is to develop the state and county court system for land and soil jurisdiction. The second, the preservation of the national trust. the enforcement of the public law, the upholding of the federal Constitution owed to our state and people, the repopulation of our land and soil jurisdiction, the filling of vacated public offices, and the reclamation of our material and intellectual public and private assets. It's the reclamation process that will also, a lot of this will continue, but there's 7 primary goals there. And that's the only function of the assembly. Okay? Are those 7 items outlined. To these ends, we, the living people of Indiana, have called the eligible Indiana nationals and citizen electors to assemble and to serve as jurors and officers. And we have established the process and procedure to qualify jurors and others competent to hold state citizenship and public office. We do this peacefully and without rancor in the exercise of our unincorporated powers and capacities. All right, so then we have, and I probably should put it, I don't know how yet to read for chat. Maybe that's here. No, that doesn't give me chat. I don't know how to see for chat on this. Okay. Figuring things out, technology. Okay. Outreach mission statement is to help people understand who they are and why they were misidentified as U.S. citizens of the United States, and provide a solution by correcting their political status, joining the Indiana Assembly, including home county assembly, and becoming actively involved in restoring the Republican form of government we are owed. We do this through a combination of counseling, facilitation, and training services, and provide the optimal benefit of to the future American. To assist future Americans, we offer a range of opportunities like an American. High-impact video conferencing, a turnkey political correction process, web-based libraries, local assembly meetings, state assembly meetings, continental marshal and deputy programs, state and county committees. Value statement. We stand under the laws of nature, the laws of nature's God, the 10 Commandments, the Declaration of Independence. We accept the fiduciary responsibility of the Indiana Trust and operate under the prudent man standard, meaning we treat our state business as if it were our own business, but not for self-interest or personal gain. It's that protection and ensuring being conservative with it, ensuring in protection of it. We keep the peace and uphold the public law. We report crime. We value each man and woman as a unique creation of our Creator and recognize them as a powerful co-creator. We willingly choose to self-govern and strive to show up as our best self in each and every experience. We do not and we will not condone or participate in any form of insurrection, rebellion, or creation of armed forces other than the lawful state assembly militias operated as they were supposed to be operated within each state, and our land-based Continental Marshal Service, which is our jurisdictional interface with the U.S. Marshal Service. And then we perform under the treaties and constitutional agreements already established and for supporting the restored American government, the reconstruction thereof, and will become responsible for the conduct of the restored Confederation and Federal Republic. Here are important documents for that you'll want to pull up. One is the Assembly Affirmation of Purpose and Conduct. You'll want to read that. Print it out, autograph in blue ink. Your autograph includes the bicolon and the copyright and your thumbprint for it. Even though it's printed on the paper for the bicolon or copyright, still put it in your own wet ink. The contact info is that for you to present what contact info can be shared with other assembly members, but it's also for the General Assembly, the Jural Assembly, and the Militia Assembly to be able to contact you. And for communications within our community, right? There is the link here to the Assemblymen and Women Points of Order, the Assembly Militia Standards and Principles. That is also something you need to pay attention to and read through, follow that. Here's the link to Committees the Way We Work, recommended committee structures. It dives deeper into more specifics about the different committees that we need to look. and committee structure template link. Then there's standard operating procedures template. It's a walkthrough process to be able to, for each thing to be able to set up and develop so that it has measuring points, has deliverables, and has an end date. So that way business can keep moving forward. The call to public office, which also gives more detail about responsibilities within the offices, and then a list of what assembly offices are currently needed. Here are two videos that are the reading of Anna's articles, two specific articles about it is your public duty. This is a public duty to do this. Here's a link to the Law of Peace. It is directly from the Army Manual's Law of Peace. They have a Law of War. This is the Law of Peace. On the second and fourth Mondays of the month in General Assembly, right now we're working through reading the Common Law Community Training Manual, establishing the reign of natural liberty, the common law and its courts. Here's the link to it in PDF. It's just a 27-page. It's not a big read. Our next reading will be after we finish that. Then we're going to go to read the Ex parte Milligan case, which occurred here on Indiana. Pay attention, people. Okay, and then here are important articles that you need to be reminded. You've got 3 choices. We already talked about the warning signs of infiltrator, and for all coordinators of the American Way, also reminders of the 3 choices, either the Land and Soil State Assembly, or it's a district assembly or municipal assembly. Municipal assembly is for those that are still looking for hand-holding and reparations and want that nanny state experience. Territorial is those that want to go for the battle. If that's what you're looking for, that's where you belong. And it gives you more information so that you can know that that's where you go. And then to tighten up for the state assembly so that we make sure that we're ensuring that the paperwork is being done correctly to ensure the safety of Indianians and the assembly. It is looked at that November 11th, 2024, of heading to Faith Monument in Plymouth, Pennsylvania. I think so. And here's 2 videos by Kirk Cameron that will give you more information about Faith Monument, which was the statue built for the foundation of our country. And here's the Telegram link. Again, I'm still working on that. Again, if we have those that are great at social media that love to be able to post and share things, connect with me. If you're state national, present yourself and we can be able to get you going and support and help with that. Here's the link tree where all the links, I'm trying to keep them all organized in there for you so you have one place to have to look them all up. Here's a reminder of the structure of our government. This is the part that's of the people that we're filling. Okay. A reminder that American State Assembly eligibility, 21 years of age, state national or state citizen, permanent home in your home state, and you've lived there for a year and a day. Okay, and your status correction has to go on a public record somewhere. It has to be public record. All right, and here's a reminder of the processes of working through the organizational goals. So we have outreach and recruitment. Everybody is a part of outreach. Everybody is a part of recruitment. And it's because we're all here to outreach, to share the good news, and we're all here to recruit to help fill the offices, the vacant offices, so we can all start doing fulfilling our responsibilities before we can think that they should, the de facto or anybody else should be held accountable. We need to hold up to our own, what we are supposed to be accountable for as well. Help people understand and navigate the paperwork and record it. Help people join and participate in the assembly, either as state nationals or citizens. Which group what the difference is, so you know. And then we have the 4 parts, the pillars: the General Assembly, International, Jural, and Assembly Militia. Again, the General Assembly deals with in-state and local issues. It is the committee of the whole, and everything is driven from the General Assembly. Even the elections are held through the General Assembly. Once the Assembly is organized and functioning on all 4 pillars, the coordinator's role sunset. It does go to, it's presented to the Assembly is presented to the Federation for review. And if all the roles are filled, all the counties have been populated, and court sessions are actively starting to take place, then the coordinator's role sunsets, and the Federation releases the state assembly to actually stand on its own. And then it can be once that occurs, then your state is recognized by other outside agencies and groups and everything as well. Something to be reminded of: there is only one rightful lawful assembly. So even if you see out there National State Assembly or the National Assemblies, things like that, those are not part of the actual Land and Soil Federation of States. This is the Indiana Assembly, the only one that is the lawful assembly with the Federation for the United States of America. And that's why you need to be here on these calls, not attending all these other calls that have all these other organizations and groups. Not that their information isn't, might not be important for you, but it's not actually connected to this assembly that's the actual lawful assembly for the state. Again, here's a reminder of the 3 choices. You've got the American State Assembly here, or there's the district or municipal. A reminder that the General Assembly is the driver. Everything goes through the General Assembly to move the other assemblies, the other pillars. Again, here's a little bit more on each of the pillars, breaking down. Here also is a visual of what the different offices within each pillar for some of the main roles encompassed within each pillar. Alright, so right now we have 31 of the 92 counties are in process. At least someone has, on those counties, at least one has at least spoken up and said that they're interested in learning more. With at least 2 nationals, there are 15 counties that have at least 2 nationals that have presented their record on that county, so that they can be able to start connecting. But they're going to want to stay with the state for right now until more start connecting. But they can then start reaching out to start connecting within their community, to start bringing them to the assembly calls together. They can start having people in their county, they find somewhere to meet and have a remote of the assembly call where they're all together and sharing in on the call, that kind of stuff, and start building it. Where there are 16 counties that there's at least one, there's only one that has at least presented their paperwork, so that means at least the county is, it's actually populated at that point, but it's not fully populated to start building until there's a second one on there. So there's 16 with one of 2 on there, and there are 15 that do have paperwork on their counties, so they're ready to start moving. And of course, obviously, there are some counties much larger than others. And there are 30 counties that we haven't heard from yet at this moment. So if you are in a county near one of the counties that are in white, start connecting, start reaching out, communicating. If you go to theindianaassembly.org, in the top toolbar, there's a tab for outreach, and then you can print like business cards, flyers, things like that you can be able to use, that has all the links and information on there that you can be able to share that material, information. Okay, so now we're getting into the actual agenda. So, the assembly has gone through a few email server systems because so many people did not want to follow through with the confirmation of receiving the emails. Therefore, they were automatically, a lot of the free servers, a lot of the free alphabet groups are automatically popping them into spam, junk, promotions folders. So you need to have a regular daily routine of actually checking those. I have one of those types of emails for my personal, so I can also see how that works. And even though I went through that report not spam and then went in and confirmed, I still had to report not spam a good 3 or 4 times before it finally started activating to kick into my inbox. And then you still have to make sure and actually open the emails. You can't just preview it. You have to you don't have to click on anything if you don't want to, but you have to actually open it, because if you, after a while of unopened emails, they'll pop them right back into spam or junk. Okay, so you have to actually go through that process. Well, we've gone through a few because it eats up, because you're thinking you're sending out a list in emails to 500 emails, over 400 have been blacklisted. So it counts in the amount of contacts, because you have to pay for so many contacts, and it counts in how many emails are being sent. Well, if over 400 are being blacklisted, they're never receiving the emails. It's actually costing the assembly more by you not actually following through and going in and confirming. So now we've changed email newsletter providers again. So you have to actually go in and do the signing up yourself. All these, it's called the anti-spamming, anti-phishing policies that have been put in place. You can't just send me an email to say, hey, sign me up for everything, and then I can't do that. It has to actually come from you. And we're self-governing anyway, right? Either you want the emails or you don't. That's where we're at, okay? So here is the link to go to be able to sign up to the new email news provider. Is called Zoho. Or you can go to this link here, or you can go on the left side of the website. That's been updated, and I'm still working to update the main assembly website. It's getting links. Again, looking for nationals with tech skills that would be willing to support. And again, you want to make sure that you go through that, confirming that it's not report not spam or report not phishing. Make sure that you check those. And you just might as well make it a regular habit, because I've had many people end up finding that they lost a lot of emails that were lost in spam or junk or promotions even. So check all of those, because they want to drop them in anywhere they think that, so because they're hoping you're not going to look around for it. If you really want it, you'll find it. Alright, so the connection tools. So again, we're migrating newsletter services from Ionos to Zoho Campaign. So make sure again you're up. That's the only way I can't send 500 plus emails out through my primary email address. I've got too many emails already coming in there. I can't also be sending out automatic emails to everybody. This is a way to be able to maintain so that everybody can get emails out. Through this, also migrating the booking and scheduling services from Calendly to Zoho Bookings. This is because Zoho has a lot of integrated parts to be able to support. And so they're already integrated, as well as they have a lot of free service aspects, and then it's not that expensive for upgrades for certain things. But the reason a lot of this got started was because the assembly's been using a tool called Spreadsheet.com, and they are actually no longer going to provide their service come the end of May. So they've been giving everybody time to be able to transition. So that tool was very valuable. It covered where I could be able to support using forms, doing surveys, as well as maintaining tracking of where people are with their status correction process, as far as ordering their their private auto plates and the debt redemption bundle, things like that. As well as the assembly was originally using Zoom, and that year plan ended in January, and it was $149 a month. But the only real thing that it was really serving for that $149 was that we could have recordings for greater than an hour. So it was, there was a lot of other features that we were having difficulty getting others to be able to get on board to be able to start working with. So that was a little more expensive. Then I had to transition to something because Zoom wasn't letting, because it used to be that for one user, as long as you didn't have others in the call, you could have a call however long you needed, as long as there was only one other in the call with you. Well, now they've shortened it to 40 minutes. So I switched to WebEx because if I stayed with Zoom, they wanted another whole year plan. Switched to WebEx. That was going to $15.52 a month. And that was getting to where it was mainly only so that I could have that person to have the consulting recordings with Indianians. I wasn't using it for the assembly calls. So it was really more just to have sure. So you'll see here what tools were previously being used and what tools are replacing them. And through being able to research, I've been able to find where it actually saves the assembly $29.52 a month from using converting over to Zoho products. So again, this is all of, by, and for the people. So in order to keep this going, it actually takes you, the assembly members, funding this. So make sure you put a donation in to be able to help support, to make sure that I'm doing the best I can to keep costs down as much as possible. You can do the best you can to help make sure things are funded so that we can bring this forward, as well as get those nationals out there that are willing to volunteer to be able to help support us with the tech stuff on this kind of things. So I wanted to bring that to you to show you how the migration is occurring. So notice there'll be some hiccups, but you got to make sure you follow through. Okay? And if you get to a point where you're not seeing emails for a while, check your junk, spam, promotions, all those other folders. And then if you're not seeing anything, then email me and we can see what's going on. Okay? And maybe something, and you may have to see about adding a new email address so that we can still make sure and get the information to you. And some of these services that Zoho offers are actually zero cost. So it was supportive to be able, because we can use the surveys to be able to support with elections, as well as all those preliminary polls and things like that, to be able to support. Now it only collects up to 100 responses at a time, so I'll have to we have to periodically go and retrieve them off so that it can collect another 100. But it's worth it for unlimited responses, unlimited surveys, because then it goes up into like $20-some a month in order to increase the number of responses. So that we really need to be at that level before we need to start supporting that. All right, so there were those key things. So again, committees and committee chairs, reminders what the different committees for the General Assembly, which we're in right now. But then also a presentment of, here is Florida. They've been moving forward. They're one of the states, I think, that are on the list of for a review to move forward from to stand up with their assembly through the Federation. So here are their processes. There's a link here that you can go in and pull each one of them up and start reading. Eventually we'll start, because the elections are handled through the General Assembly, so we're going to start delving into more of that as we go along. But this way you can start getting a review, so we can start working through that. Okay, so then we have our militia. Again, communication is key. We want to make sure that the emails are connecting. We also need to make sure that we do have your Indiana living home address and your cell phone contact information, because some are cell phone people and will be great at connecting that way. So ways to be able to communicate. And again, who all's eligible? Everyone is a part of the assembly. As Anna says, many hands make light work. Okay, here again are the state level officers of that need to be filled. The 3 highlighted are the key ones that need to be filled state level. ASAP. You can see whether citizens or national, all, whether you're national or citizen, all present birth certificate and 2 witness testimonies from 2 men or women that have known you for at least 7 years and preferably over the lawful age of 21, and verification that you live on Indiana and a current valid photo ID driver's license that has an Indiana address. And then for national is the 1779. And then if you're wanting to support in these roles, 1779, then it's common carry declaration of political status, fee schedule, and cancel voter registration, cancel IRS DC in New York, and if you have military or any other licenses like that. And then citizen is all of that plus the full 928 bundle, not bits and pieces of the 928 bundle, but the entire 928 bundle. And then as a national or a citizen, if you're looking to step up into an elected role, there is a background check required. Here is more details of each of the individual, a little more meat of what's going on within each of the roles. Alright, then here are Anna's articles since last week. If you'll notice, she's furthering with, because she's done part 1, as well as there is the article, meat of the subject, money and not money. Along with these other 2 are supporting for direct support for you to help start to battle peeling out of all claims against you that are relative to money. Okay, so important information for you to look through. As well as there's a channel on YouTube. If you go to the Assembly at Home on Indiana on YouTube, where we follow, you could see that we follow the channel that does the audio of the articles to find them as well. Alright, let's check and see. This is all I have. Let's check and see if Joe was able to make it to the call with us. Yep. Yay. Okay, let me get you access. Hold on. Allow to speak. Hello. Are you there? Can you hear me? Oh.
Hi, Christine. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, I can hear you now. How are you?
Good. I'm actually great.
Oh.
We had a meeting, KTF Assembly Liaison meeting on the 2nd.
Yes.
I didn't see an exclusive enrollment form come in for you, Christine, but I will send you the replay for that meeting. It was a 90-minute. It was on time, and it was pretty informative. And maybe even James attended, or somebody from Indiana also placed in an enrollment form. So.
Yes, I did notice that you forwarded that a man on Marion County had stepped up saying that he was interested. So, exciting.
And we have a couple of ways to review the presentations, even without folks who have enrolled. What they won't receive, though, is the actual meeting itself. So questions that would be asked by participants, responses, the presentation from me directly. Those meetings are upon request of participants who joined the call, or those who have enrolled but could not attend. However, there is a worldwide access to the actual presentation, a solo presentation. but I will send you the just so so you can, as a coordinator, become more exclusively aware of what we're doing as far as the liaison bridge building aspect.
Okay, sounds good. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. So it went really well. We have, like I say, we have I want to say it's 22 or 23 participating states. You can actually go on the EKTF news site under campaigns, and then under campaigns, and then under liaison through the amount of states. But I won't go into too many details right now. I don't know if James is the one that attended, but you can still
No.
share or exhibit or whoever, there was someone who did ask questions on Indiana, so that was really great.
Yes.
In particular. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. We had just a tiny bit of technical issues, but it was our first meeting of 6 in a series. And we will branch further beyond that. We're anticipating to have a weekly meeting with liaisons to actually assume that role. Right now, we have general interest from all of the 23 states. So yeah, pretty good.
Okay. That sounds great.
And that's really all I have to share right now. I'm traveling, so I don't have much to be at home to present or.
Okay, that sounds good.
You know how it is.
Oh yeah.
But do you have any questions? Do you have any questions from me or anybody that's the channels are open, the email contact lists are open. We're always happy to receive questions because we get ahead of time because we get an opportunity to provide the most thorough answer. And then on calls such as yours here, if it's in regards to peacekeeping, we have a chance to present that same question and provide the most accurate answer. But there were questions on the call last night, so yes. But let's give us some time. We didn't receive any in our email. Part of our newsletter introduction invitation to the meeting is encouraging folks to send their questions that they didn't get answered during the training meeting or questions that they had in between, just to send them to our email, just like you or anybody at all.
Okay. Sounds good. And I have it in the agenda presentation as well to email you, as well as in the emails that are going out to send you an email with any questions too.
Okay. Well, and I'm just gonna, as a recipient of the newsletter for Indiana, I did see the one where I had to sign up again, but I did that last time it was sent out. I guess now you're not using iOS, you're using, what you say?
Yeah, because it was another round again where people just were not confirming their email. So now we're moving over to Zoho.
I can share your challenges, although I haven't ran into any that I'm aware of, or I see aware of, blacklisting.
Well, but you're based on if they're signing up themselves, they still, a lot of them are still not following through though with checking their emails too. Train.
Well, I guess it's a good thing. It's a good thing to have a spam filter, but I do think technology. I don't know. Yeah, and it is a challenge. I'm sure the coordinators are doing their best to coordinate, and even the technology is not assisting you that well.
And so many will respond saying, "Well, I agree." And I have to follow back and say, but you can't just tell me, you have to actually do it. This is part of self-governing though too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a pain in the butt, but
I'm starting more to check my, although it's not a lot of things go there, but this one goes
with this new one, because my personal email, I have a personal for Gmail, so I also have a tester, to see how it goes. And I went through it found it in the spam, reported as not spam. Of course, the train's going by now; it's holding things up. Okay, so it reported it as spam, so I had to check report not spam. It went in the inbox. I did the confirmation. a good 3 or 4 emails afterwards still went into spam. I still had to go again and report them as not spam. And you have to show that you've opened the email. You don't have to click on anything, but you have to actually open the email so that those algorithms will know, yeah, you still are interested in getting those emails. But most people just want to review and preview it, and because you don't actually open it, so the algorithms don't think that you're actually paying attention, so they'll start popping them back into spam.
Right. Well, email clients can be a bear. What I've relied on seems to work really well. Just the contact form on the website, on our website, DKTF's website.
It goes through without a hit.
But that's inquiries or email or questions just coming in. It comes through
Delivered by an email or email client.
But going out, we respond to email.
We just started to send emails out. And you know what, Christine, now that you mentioned it, it could have been that 16 or so, just shy of 10 or 11 states that were eager to participate didn't show up. But half of them did. They were sent to the same email client. So, I think we might be experiencing some of what you are.
Right. And it's about reminding the people themselves. You're going to have to make checking that spam folder part of your regular, and like I included on there is once you've checked it, go ahead and delete everything that's in there so that you don't have to re-filter through again to see if you've checked that or not.
Yeah, I'm going to add that to my to-do list for tomorrow to remind folks. We have built-in contingencies, and it's similar to what you do. By just nevertheless, you still provide presentations and recordings for training and these things. And we've also adopted that same approach or contingency for folks who are not able to attend meetings, and in your case, General Assembly meetings. So what you'll get is, like I say, you'll get a replay of what we talked about live in a second. But anybody will get a chance because it's going to go on the UGE platform, YouTube. Is not the same replay. It's going to actually be a different broadcast, a sanitized, expedited kind of presentation. It's just myself or, audio, text to speech, following along with the presentation to make it quicker. So we have that 2 options. But to have everybody attend, that's kind of what we're going for, and we will eventually, I'm sure. I guess people just, like you say, got to check their junk mail. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it really has to become part of their regular routine when they're checking their inbox, too.
Yeah, so if I received another one then for the Indiana Assembly, I'll have to do that.
Yeah, because like I said, I had to do it another 3 or 4 times after. I mean, I only had to do the confirm once, but I had to do the check report not spam a good 3 or 4 times before it automatically popped into inbox. Then.
Now, what do you do when it is filled out or received correctly? Do you receive or do you send out a confirmation?
Yeah, it will. Once they fill out the form, and I have the same form I've put on the website. I've updated the website as well for a contact form. Is that once they've done the confirmation step as well, then an email comes to them saying that they've finished, at least on the assembly side, of confirming.
Hey, what about this also?
What about as far as the what if? Being that Indiana is where Expert State Milligan took place and remains, and just the history behind it, just Indiana being the crossroads of America. Could it be that they are providing you an additional challenge to just become smug about the whole thing? Who knows?
Well, because it had Indiana in it, and when because of course if you put your email address to use for the sender. But I even tried with At Home on Indiana, but we have the domain At Home on Indiana. .org, so I was using one of those emails, and it was still, but I think because it has Indiana, it's already catching.
Could be.
But this is where we have to be diligent and work together to combat it.
Absolutely right. Yeah. Well, like I said, so the presentation, I will send that to you. You can review it at your leisure. You can pull questions or examples forward during, as far as you have general and militia, not is that today or next week?
Today is general and militia. Next week is jural.
Okay. Okay, so fitting. Now, the following week, though, not next week, but the one after, if you would like, after reviewing, we'll be meeting 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from the second. So it sounds like you have 2 weeks apart where you can review and then you, as you're able. And when I'm stationary, I can also follow along in certain sections of each presentation where they're fitting for meetings like general and militia. And then 2 weeks from now, general and militia.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, actually, it sounds like you're just 2 days apart. Because this is we hold the meetings currently every 2 weeks, and that was 2 days ago. So
cool. Yeah, there would be.
Yeah, I can get the replays to you, and you can extract whatever.
Absolutely.
And then we can talk about it. So let me get that to you in about, say, half an hour. I can get it over to you when you're able to check it out. Again, it's 90 minutes. If you do it, or anybody has, well, if you have any issues, and anybody else is interested though and haven't yet attended the meetings or have enrolled, again, as our contingency, you can go to the UGE platform, which is my name, Joseph Hayes, and then just go to YouTube,
Okay.
my name, and then you'll find a reading. Now, what takes place at that meeting space will be presentations, just like that has gone out under the liaison tab under campaign, our site. Also, directors meetings are there. We have which is on the same day as liaison meetings, which is 4 or 5 hours early. But so we are starting to hold consistent weekly meetings, myself and our directors, also with the Federation when they're available, also with other liaisons within the Federation that are separate from the KTF. You'll be able to see those. And those are micro meetings, 30 minutes, no longer than 30 minutes. And where we discuss things that are taking place across Continental Marshal Service, the sheriffs, wherever they are, whatever questions they bring to us. As far as Assembly Militia Command leadership is saying, we kind of touch base, just bounce 4 or 5, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 questions, time permitting, and just share with all of the observers who are interested in what all of the other speakers are dealing with or working with on a weekly basis.
That's exciting.
And if you're needing links down, of course, just go to our link tree, and you can find UGE2, because we just call it UGE. The Federation used that with weekly webinars for about 5 months. In fact, in August 2022 or 2023, they used it for about 5 months, and then they transitioned over into WebEx. But we like it. We like the badging. It's a freedom platform, It's okay.
Right.
It uploads really fast. I don't want to add too much more tech on it for recommendations. Yeah, it's pretty user friendly. It definitely rivals YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's why they gave the tube part. And don't ask me what UGE stands for.
Yeah. But we should be able to see. Hopefully, I can be able to integrate them. If I can integrate them into OBS here,
right?
And then that way I don't have to be so. Because right now it's based where YouTube is the primary one. It's live streaming through, even though it's also Rumble and Odyssey, and for Telegram, of course. And but if YouTube kicks it, but like YouTube kicked it for that Aaron Lewis video, so they kicked it off and removed the video. But I think Odyssey still ended up recording as well, so we didn't lose it completely.
You're able to multicast like nobody I've ever seen. Pretty, I think you're being honest on this. You're pretty solid on.
Well, I keep putting it out there that we're looking for nationals that are willing, if they got any kind of tech support to help.
Yeah, sure. Oh, you'd be happy as can be if you didn't.
What?
Yeah. Well, it's like marketing. If marketing is true on its statistics, that it can take up to dozens of times of consistent repeating them. This is a part of the outreach itself, and people have to be.
Oh yeah.
Have to hear something several times before they move,
and of course their own schedule.
That
Oh yeah.
Not really spoken, but we know that's the reality. People have to work it into their daily lives. It's part of their reality.
Well, yeah, and I always tell your family has to come first, though, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a great selling point. Make sure that family comes first.
Yeah,
that's true. So,
absolutely. Right.
But if we don't have time to put an article on the PKP site, by default, it'll go to the bloggers. So if anybody needs information, so now folks interested, folks. And meeting with them every 2 weeks on every Saturday, and then again, let me just send that to you. How about that, Christine? I'll send it to you, and you can extract everything that was talking about tonight.
Okay.
And we'll talk about it. Next time.
Sounds good. All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you. Be safe. And we are grateful for all that you're doing to help all of man here on America. And it's helping everyone across the world. Thank you.
You as well, Christine, for Indiana. And everybody else, too.
Absolutely.
All of the videos that you put out is modular and it's just fitting for anybody, no matter what state assembly they're on. So thank you all for your time.
Alrighty, well, everyone, don't forget, we have next Monday, the 11th, is the Drill Assembly and Militia Assembly meet, and then Monday, the 18th, we meet back again for General Assembly and Militia. I want to thank you all and have a great night. Peace and love.
Bye.
Good night.